Hello there, my dear Sagittarius, and welcome to your reading of the Tarot for the month of February 2017. So, welcome to Lucy the Antigua Tarot, and my name is Lucy. And so let's get started. We're going to do the simple 3-card spread this month again. And we'd like to ask our dear Tarot messengers what kind of important messages they have for Sagittarius for the month of February 2017. Messages for Sagittarius for the month of February 2017. Sagittarius, the month of February. What important messages do we have for them for this month? Okay. Okay. For Sagittarius for the month of February 2017. Okay, we're going to split the cards. Month of February 2017. Okay. Just going to do one more mix here after splitting them. Make sure we kind of separate them. February 2017, messages for Sagittarius. Important messages for Sagittarius. Okay. All right, let's get started. Wow. Starting out with the Fool. Nice. I'm going to put them there in the center for you. Wow. The Knight of Pentacles. The Fool. Wow, and then you have the Ace of Swords. Okay, so let's just, let me move them a little bit more this way so you guys can see them pretty good. There. Ace of Swords, the Fool, and the Knight of Pentacles. Cool. So here I have my, a friend of mine, I'm doing the readings in Guatemala. I am in Guatemala right now, and a friend of mine gave me this heart-shaped jade, actually. This friend did this, and he's got some special stone sanding materials that he does to sand his stones, and he gave me this heart. And so that's, that's what I'm using now, and I think it's beautiful. All right, you guys, so the Fool. I would like for us to start with the card of the Fool. Okay, so the Fool is about entering a new phase. It's talking about beginnings. Okay, it's talking about living in the moment, perhaps. Letting go of all those expectations and being a little bit more impulsive, my dear friends. It's also, Sagittarius, about having faith. This card is about having faith. Trusting the flow of things, staying open and letting go of worries and fears, feeling protected and loved. Also about accepting your choices, perhaps pursuing a long time dream, being true to yourself. Okay. And it is the card 0 of the major arcana. Okay. Which means also neither here nor there, kind of like a beginning, but also like just completing. Now it sounds kind of weird, but it's like you've completed a cycle. And it's interesting because we're in February of 2017 and we're starting a new cycle. So it is about completing a cycle but beginning a new one. So it's like at the 0 point. That's what this card is about in terms of the 0. And the 0 is the infinite perfection of our divine creator. And it represents a connection with God or with your higher being. And 0 is symbolized by the perfect circle without beginning and without end. Right? There it is. This is the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. It is in Spanish, but it's a beautiful card. Beautiful representation. I love these cards. Also, 0 is talking about beginnings, like I said earlier, which is what the Fool represents, and which is Alpha also, and Omega, which is the highest. Because it's infinite. There is really no beginning and no end. And because the cycles, we're constantly going through the cycles, and there's really a constancy about that, you know, in terms of how life is. It is the number of the God force, the higher force, the forces of the universal energies, and it amplifies and magnifies the vibrations of the numbers that appear with it. And it's really interesting because you have the ace, which is number 1. You have 1 sword, and then you have the Knight of Pentacles, and he's holding 1 pentacle. So it's going to amplify that, and we're going to be talking about the number 1 a little bit. But going back to 0, 0 symbolizes, it's the symbol of nothingness and denotes freedom from limitations in this material world. It's about wholeness, continuing cycles and flows of life. It also stands for potential or choice. A potential in the pentacles, a potential with the swords. All right. It's also talking about developing one's spiritual aspects because it is considered to be connected with your higher power, your higher self, with God, the higher God. It represents the beginning of a spiritual journey. And it highlights the uncertainties that this journey may entail. And it is suggesting that you listen to your intuition and higher self, because it is here where you will find your answers, Sagittarius. That is the number 0. So the number 0 is highlighting the uncertainties that this journey might entail, this spiritual journey. The significance of the number 1, and I'm saying 1 because you have 1 sword and you have 1 pentacle. That is what you have, my dear Sagittarius. Now, the number 1 is all about doing, and Sagittarius, you guys are all about, you're fire signs, right? You're passionate, dynamic. You have a lot of energy. You're always ready for action. You're always ready to get up and go and do what you need to do. So the 1 is all about doing. It produces results, and won't let anybody or anything keep you from doing that, what you want, getting the results. So the number 1 is aggressive, and being aggressive is kind of an unnecessary energy needed to create and produce. And the number 1 is always up front, at the forefront, directing and leading others, walking upright and proud with a purpose. Just like Sagittarius, strong, determined, turning your dreams and ideas into reality, pushing those obstacles aside. Okay. Now, the Fool, which is the number 0, so it lies at the beginning of the arcana, but it also comes at the end. And the fact that it's a 0 kind of separates it from the other cards. And, he looks like a court jester, excuse me. And in medieval courts, the court jester, was someone who really wasn't expected to follow the same rules as everybody else did. He could observe and then he could make fun. So this makes the Fool, this Fool, unpredictable and full of surprises. And reminds us of the unlimited potential and spontaneity inherent in every moment. And that is why there's a cliff, because it's a spontaneous journey. It's not planned out. So it's pretty much saying that anything goes, nothing is certain or regular. So this Fool adds the new and the unfamiliar to a situation, okay? And it's at your center. He also has complete faith in life. Life is good and worthy of trust. Some people might say that he's just way too innocent, perhaps even naive. But this innocence that he has sustains him and brings him joy. So this Fool can signal a new beginning or change of direction. And you do have a new beginning here with the Ace of Swords. A new direction. A direction that will guide you onto a path of adventure. You have the Knight. Adventure, wonder, personal growth. And the Fool is also reminding you to keep your faith and trust your natural responses. So, my dear Sagittarius, if you are facing a decision or you're feeling some doubt right now, the Fool is telling you to believe in yourself and follow your heart no matter how crazy or foolish your impulses may seem. Okay? It's a beautiful card. Now, let's look at the Knight of Pentacles. This knight has his heart set on a goal. And he's also, he stands firm and stays fixed on a chosen course. And keeps true to his personal convictions. So this is you. This is you, Sagittarius. He's also a cautious knight. Examines and studies all the angles of a situation, and then he proceeds slowly and carefully, prefers to be safe, and on a path that is known, and prudent and careful. And it's interesting because the Fool is completely the opposite, right? Okay. Once the Knight of Pentacles decides to do something, he's not going to let go of that idea, he or she. She will pursue her goal until she achieves it. And the Knight will work hard and has tremendous stamina and dedication. And every job is completed to the last detail. Very careful and prudent. And tends to know all the facts. Okay. Now, your cautious style, what this card is telling us is that this style that you have of being cautious, Sagittarius, okay, is coming through in a specific situation, and it is an aspect of you. It could be an aspect of someone else, or it could be an aspect of a general situation. So what you need to say is this energy of being cautious, is it helping you or is it hurting you? Okay? That's what you need to ask. Okay. Now, if this night's energy or style is present in you or in someone else or in a situation or atmosphere that you're finding yourself in right now, then balance is needed. You might be working too hard. You might be refusing to listen to reason. There might be somebody in your life who's a perfectionist. Maybe the atmosphere around you is one of gloom and doom. And if this is the case, it's telling you that it's time for a change, hence the Fool. It's time for a change. You need to change something here. Okay. And that's if the energy is really strong, the night energy, right? Um, if the night energy is missing, you might need to be a little bit more prudent and careful. You might be spending too much. Maybe you're moving too fast and you need to slow down. Perhaps you're giving up too soon and you need to maybe spend a little bit more time and dedication to whatever is going on. You know, don't quit. It could be that it's coming up as your work being careless, often careless, late, and even incomplete. And so if that is the case, the next time resolve to work up a sweat and get the job done, right? Let him bring in that energy of care and persistence. Because the knight can be hardworking and can be realistic, this Knight of Pentacles. Unwavering. So this is a card about balancing those energies of the Knight of Pentacles, Sagittarius. All right? And I have a feeling that maybe you're being a bit too cautious. And that's why you have the Fool. You also have the Ace of Swords. And the swords are all about mental force, mental processes, truth, justice, and fortitude. It's about being objective, thinking your way through things, finding out the facts, analyzing a situation, using your intellect, applying logic and reason. A lot of the things of the knight similar in many ways, but the knight is more like um, he's more like how can I say it? He's more like contrasting characteristics, either or is the knight, yeah, the Knight of Pentacles. Either stubborn or persistent or must have his or her way versus stands firm against opposition. Okay, cautious versus unadventurous. Thorough versus obsessive. Realistic versus pessimistic. Hardworking versus grinding, So it kind of like, it's like an energy that it gets intensified. Okay. And the swords, on the other hand, are really very different. And you have the Ace of Swords. So the Knight of Pentacles is all about balancing those energies. The Ace of Swords is about, mental forces, applying logic and reason, having fortitude, overcoming adversity, facing problems, resolving situations, finding the strength to overcome those obstacles that are around you, and not letting setbacks throw you off path. It's also about seeking justice, making what is wrong right, championing a cause, establishing the truth, accepting responsibility, and wanting what is fair. And then the swords are also about truth. If there are doubts, dispelling them, cutting through the confusion, seeing through illusions, having clear understanding, being honest, and finding out what is real. So this is a symbol of possibility in the area of intelligence, reason, justice, truth, clarity, and fortitude. So perhaps right now in your life, there's a birthing of clear understanding that's coming through. Perhaps you haven't noticed it yet, because it's a seed that's beginning to sprout, perhaps. And it can take any form. It could be an amazing, compelling idea. It could be a desire for a certain truth. It could be like something in relation to justice and fairness, or a need to be honest. Okay. Um, or it could be something coming from the outside, something that is being offered to you, like a gift, an opportunity, an encounter, a synchronistic event, something that's going to give you that clarity, that's going to give you that truth. This card also talks about a challenge that's going to come in and test you in some way. Life comes in and things happen, and sometimes we get frustrated, but maybe sometimes we're being tested. There's a lesson that needs to be learned. And it might be in relation to an idea. Okay. And this card could also be telling you when something that's going to disrupt might be coming in. So it could, maybe there's something, you're kind of already getting some messages about that. And it is kind of inviting you, Sagittarius, to accept that challenge, face your challenge, whatever that challenge may be, with courage and a firm resolve, which is, you guys are very courageous. Come on, Sagittarius, you're fire. Because you know that in every challenge, there's going to be an opportunity of learning. So this card is telling you to examine your life to see how the clean, sharp energy, that clean, sharp energy, uh, how that sharp energy, clean energy can work for you. Because it's about having that logical mind. Think about your problem, whatever that may be, or this new beginning, objectively. Here it's telling you to balance. And you're getting number one, which is like a double force, because the zero is giving these a double force of energy, right? Be objective. Look for situations that are unjust or confusing. And right now in February is the time to look for that and resolve and set them right. And commit this month of February for being honest and ethical. And I'm not saying that you're not. It's not saying that you're not. It's just telling you commit to being honest and ethical. Okay? Um, you do have the inner resources to overcome obstacles and that are coming in your way for the month of February. And at the same time, find the truth of your situation. And that is what this card is promising you guys. Okay? And then just going back into the Fool card, it seems like that maybe that is your new path. That's going to be your new journey for the month of February. Have complete faith, having complete faith that that your life and whatever situation you find yourself in, that it's good and worthy of trust. Okay? And that is your reading for the month of February. I'm having a hard time saying February. For the month of February, my dear Sagittarius, I wish you luck and take good care and see you in March. Bye-bye.